to hear her story and then being able to possibly share her story with somebody that's on your heart that might resonate with her and her story. So Jodie, go ahead and take it away.
Yes, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. This is so much fun. You better stop talking, Emily, because let me tell you, I want that Magnolia subscription and I might have to just join your team just for that. Okay, girl, let's do this. I love it. I'm so happy to be here and I can't wait to share a little of my story in hopes that it will just encourage your hearts tonight. I don't know. For me, when I listen to other people's stories of how they got started, I resonate with some and I'm just like, okay, if they can do this, I can do this. And so I hope that in my sharing that maybe a few of you will just be like, yes, okay, I can do another week of this, another week, another 90 days. And who knows where you'll be when convention rolls around, right? So let me just share a little bit. I live in Michigan, close to Grand Rapids, if you even know where that is. It is almost 10 o'clock my time. So we are rolling the midnight oil. But I'm so excited to just share. So I started Plexus because I was looking for some help with my hormones. So I'm just going to quick share my health story. I won't go into it a ton, but we were anticipating bringing our third child home from Korea. So we have a biological daughter and then 2 kids from Korea. And then I was looking to just balance my hormones, get that good and ready because we wanted to have another biological baby. And we knew that we needed a little hormone help. And so my doctor had prescribed me some synthetic hormones and I was about to take them. But I had been following one of my friends posting about Plexus for a year. Now there were 2 people in my Facebook network that were kind of sharing. One, I was like, what is this? Is this some sort of diet juice? That's literally what I thought, because she only talked about weight loss and she never really gave a lot of information about it. And the girl, I don't know. I was just like, okay, so that was one that I kind of saw a little bit. And then my other friend who was a nurse and she was sharing consistently and I was seeing it pop up on my newsfeed a lot. And so I was more drawn, I guess, to her. And so I say that because how you present yourself and how often you're presenting yourself in this opportunity and the different aspects of it really can draw someone in. And so I ended up reaching out to her and we ended up having a conversation and I decided to go for it. After praying about it for about 24 hours, me and my husband talked and we're like, okay. So it did feel a little risky just because I knew that what my doctor was prescribing would probably work quick and I'd probably get pregnant and it would be okay. But I wanted to do it more of the natural way and I wanted to take it through my whole pregnancy. And so thankfully, praise Jesus, it worked and we had a wonderful pregnancy. I now have a 2-year-old little girl. So I have been on the products for about 3 years. It'll be 3 years in May. Okay, so that's kind of why I started and who I started with. The next thing, little snippet, is that I knew that people in network marketing could make money. So I came from ministry. I was in ministry for 13 years. I have a youth ministry degree and theology major, and that's kind of what my jam was. I love high school age kids. I love relational ministry, just being in the mess and trenches of kids that feel lost and alone and hopeless. And so that is who I am, and that is my heartbeat. And so I left that ministry career to be home with my 3 kids and then got pregnant with my 4th. And so Plexus kind of snuck in there and I had this in my head of maybe this could work because I had seen other people that were making money in network marketing and making influence, but I didn't want to just choose any company. If I was going to do this, I wanted to align with it. I wanted the people to be real and I wanted to be able to share with integrity and authenticity. And so when I started seeing Plexus, I kind of had this glimmer of hope, like maybe this could work because it's going to help people and it's helping me. And so even a month in, actually even getting that success kit, I read it through and I looked at the pictures and I kind of was like, maybe this could be it. Could this be? And I even have a journal entry where I just was praying to the Lord and said, like, God, could this be it? Like, could this be something I could run with? I don't know. This is weird, but maybe I could do this. And so I had a seed in me very early on. So I'll just put that out there. So then when I got pregnant, it just felt like confirmation that these products work and I think I might throw out a post. So me and my husband kind of had what you call shareholders meeting, where we kind of sat on our deck and we were talking about it. I'm like, hon, I think I'm going to roll with this. And he's so supportive since day one. And I know that's not everyone's story, but it is ours. And so he's like, go for it. So I said I was going to commit to 45 minutes a day since day one. 45 minutes, not even a full hour, but I wanted to give a little more than half hour, 45 minutes a day. And that's kind of what I did. I watched YouTube videos. I would just kind of literally Google things, YouTube things, and just watch a training video. I always made a post. I don't think I missed a single post in a whole year, not just plexus, but personal. And before that, you guys, I never posted. I posted maybe twice a year. I was an Easter, Christmas poster, or hey, we're adopting again, like one of those. And I'd get like 400 likes. Like it was like, oh, Jodie's posting her one annual post, you know? And so to now all of a sudden post every day, people are like, whoa, what's up with this girl? Like, so it was interesting. And all of a sudden I'm going from 400 likes to 30 likes, you know? And it kind of did this like this gut check of like, am I okay with this? Like all of a sudden people aren't loving Jodie DeBoer anymore. But what was happening were people were coming out of the woodwork that were silently suffering with things, and the ministry opportunities started to expand, because now no longer was I doing ministry in the trenches with these kids, but I was home in doing ministry with my own kids, and also in my Facebook inboxes, where people were literally sobbing on voice messages of things they were struggling with. And I was praying over them and ordering welcome packs, and things were going nuts. And all of a sudden I went silver in 2 weeks and senior silver in a month. And it's like, okay, this is happening. So it was really exciting. And that 45 minutes continued. And when I would do it, is because people sometimes give me the time excuse. And I had 3 kids and was bonding with my newest daughter from Korea. And bonding, if you know anything about that, it can be hard and long and interesting journey. And so when I would work my 45 minutes was when I was holding her hand as she was trying to go to bed. And I was in a twin mattress on her floor because she needed my presence at that time, just to fall asleep and jet lag and all that. And I would do my 45 minutes as I held her hand as she fell asleep, and I got it done. Like, you can find time to get that 45 minutes. So that was that. And then my upline earned this cruise. So it was called Leaders Retreat. She earned the cruise and she invited me to be her +1. And so I went because her husband couldn't. She's like, you want to come? And that felt risky because I'd only been doing plexus for like 2 months or 3 months. And I went, and that was really when I was like, okay, this company is the real deal. Because before, right, I was in ministry, we had limited budget. And then you go to like a plexus thing and they literally have plexus on every cup and on every glass of, like, everything was branded. And I'm like, what is this? And everyone just seemed to love each other. And from the stage, people were just talking about Jesus in like an authentic way. And I'm like, sign me up. So I went home from that and was like, I'm going gold, I guess. Like, and so that month I went gold because that's what I did. And that kind of was what really launched me into this is my business. This is like a calling. Let me see here. Sorry, I only have 10 minutes, so I have to go faster now, right? Because we're done at 10. Okay. So Hannah said, tell them about when you drew in your line in the sand. I would say it was at that cruise, is at least I knew that this was a company that I could really align myself with. But when I really felt like this is it for me was the next year. There was convention and I was a brand new Ruby. So I had been 1 year with plexus. I went Ruby in that first year, and Jessica Heffley messaged me. She's my like great grandma upline, right? So a few up there. Don't tell her I said that. She's not a great grandma. She's great. Although she has wisdom of great grandma. So maybe. But anyway, so she messaged me and she's like, I hear you're not going to convention. I was like, yeah, that's only for like the serious people. And she's like, you don't think you're serious? You're Ruby in a year and you're so consistent. Why aren't you going? I'm like, Vegas seems far away. I only have a 4-month-old, like gave her all the excuses. And she's like, girl, you need to come. And so I ended up going, and 3 of my teammates came with me 2 weeks before I flew out. They're like, I guess we'll come. And so we filled the room and it was so awesome. And you guys, I felt like I went to church camp. I was bawling the entire time. I was like, this is amazing. And the very last day, one of the diamonds was speaking and I just broke down, and I literally felt like God was saying, Jodie, this is for you. This is for you. Like, you need, this is what I want you to walk in, and literally makes me emotional because it was so clear. And I just didn't think anything great would happen after I left my ministry job because I loved it so much. So to have him confirm that this was a new journey for me was just such an answer to prayer, because I love being a mom, but I love working too. And so this was just fulfilling so many things in me. A year after that convention experience, I went Emerald exactly on my 2-year plexiversary. So that's kind of a fun little story. And then a week later, I have 2 sisters and a mom and a dad, and they all have family, and they sat me down for a family meeting and said that they strongly disagree with what I'm doing. And we had this huge family meeting, and they said that it's basically like them or plexus, like I can't do both. It was very, very hard. So there was an intense high and then a crushing low where I, for the first time in 2 years, did not post for a week and a half. Like just left social media, which is because I'm just such a social media person now. And I love it. I love being on stories. I could document my whole life. Like I love it now, but all of a sudden felt like so insecure, so much anxiety around it. How do I choose the people I love the most, but also something that I feel like God has given me to steward well. And so it was very heartbreaking and has caused a lot of lies in my head of just challenging that and how to combat that. But I have gone back to who matters the most in my life, and that is Jesus. First and foremost, and I'm sorry if you're not a Christian on this call and you're like, what's going on? But I have to just be true to who I am. And I feel like he has given me this. And so I only can please him. And then second is my husband. My husband's so supportive. And he's like, Jode, you have to keep going. Like, this is what God's asked you to do. And you're so good at it. And this team has been such a gift to you. My team have become such great friends. And so I'm like, okay. So I told my mom, like, I'm sorry, like, this is what's up. Like, I got to keep going. I love you so much, but you can block me, like you can do all the things, but whatever will help you have your heart pure towards me. And so, there was a call to action that there would be some gossip that would stop because there was a lot going on behind the scenes, I guess, but I have stayed true to myself in this call. And so that's where we're at. So it's been almost a year since that happened. That happened in June of last year when I went Emerald. And so here we are on the brink of Sapphire team, and we're rocking and rolling. And I truly I just love it. I do. So some of the tips that I will give you, just real brief, is like I said, from day one, I was going to give it 45 minutes, and I have done that. Of course, it's increased as my team has grown. Like, there are days that I give it 15 minutes, to be honest, but there's most days that are 45 minutes to 2 hours now. But the income that you receive has far surpassed the amount of time that I do put in, which is amazing, that residual income that can come if you stay consistent from the beginning, because everyone starts at silver, and you need to remember that, because you can see this emerald, sapphire, diamond people, and you're like, I wish I could have what they had, but we all started at 0 and went to silver just like you. The next thing is that, let's see, remember your why. So I strongly encourage you after this call to print off at least one picture, just one. It doesn't have to be like this whole dream board right now. Like, we're not going to do that right now, but I want you to print one picture that is part of your why. Is it a cart full of groceries? Is it to get a new kitchen table because you know it will host more people and that's what you really have a heart to do? Is it a ministry that you love and you just want to give more to it, and so you're going to print off that logo? Like, what is it? It can be something. Don't worry if it's too vain. Like, if you like getting your nails done, great, you do you. If you want it to be something different, like your kids need new shoes, then print the shoes. Like, I don't know what it is for you, but you need to remember that when times get hard, because I needed to remember that when times were really hard last summer and when I still have those lies. And I put it in this binder. I just have like this little binder, and I have pictures of what my why is, so I can go back to it and be like, oh yeah, this is good. And this is so, money does not buy happiness, but it can allow for options, and it can be money in the hands of Christians when we can listen to the voice of God and do what he wants with that. that's actually a huge ministry. So don't be scared of that. And if you want more money talk, that's all Jessica Heffley. Okay, next. So remember your why. The next is show up. Leaders show up. So what I used to do is go on team calls when I first started, because I didn't know what I was doing. I went on team calls, but I thought I was just this little tiny silver. Like I thought I shouldn't be on here. So I would mute it and watch Bachelor in the background, because Monday nights was our team calls. Okay, I'm just going to tell you my real. And I'm like, just hoping they would never call on me. I'm a silver. And one night, Sally, my grandma upline 2 up, she's like, so Jodie, what do you think? And I was like, I'm like watching a rose ceremony right now. Like what? I'm like, oh, I missed that. I like didn't know how to go off mute. Like, and that was it, where I was like, she's calling on me. Like I'm important here. I must matter. And after that, Bachelor went bye-bye. I have not missed a single like team call. I love those. And I do not care about the Bachelor anymore, because this is where it's at. This is so much better than any binge series, you guys. Team time is worth it. And so if you think like this doesn't matter, it does. Show up. Leaders show up. So that was a huge thing for me, because when you get to know friends and when you get to know community, your why expands too. You're just like, okay, we're all in this together. So that was a huge part of some success. And then the last thing is to just do a regular brain dump. So overwhelm is a real thing. We all experience it. I have 4 kids under the age of 7. It can get crazy around here. And so sometimes I'll just get overwhelmed with all the different things. I host a Bible study. I volunteer at my church with 2 different ministries. I'm a busy person. So there's times where it's like, okay, I can't do this all, but I have committed to this business. I will show up. And so I need to brain dump all the things. So once a week, I typically just write out all the things, from little things like I'm going to make granola bars and I need to pick up something for my daughter or whatever, to bigger things. I need to download my new level 1 list and make sure I've sent check-ins to all my new people. Like all that needs to happen, and then prioritize from that brain dump. And that's really helped me get rid of the overwhelm and kind of create a game plan. Now I'm still distracted sometimes. I still like start scrolling when I was supposed to just message one person, and I'm like, no way, she cut her hair. How cute is that? Oh, I still have those moments. Come on, we all scroll. But this does help keep us more on track. So that's a little bit of some of my tips, some of my advice, and I made it 9:59.
You're amazing. We have time. If you have time, I thought that you were at Central. I'm so sorry that it's like bedtime there. I'm so sorry. I do have a question though. Yeah. So you mentioned that you had belief in network marketing. Like you knew that network marketing, that there was money that could be made and that there was a seed planted on you from early on. My question is, and then like you mentioned that from day one, you committed to 45 minutes a day and you were out doing all these things. Did you have somebody pouring that belief into you? Like, did you have somebody kind of guiding you in that? Or were you just a self-starter and like you had belief that it could work and so you just went with it?
Okay, so the first question was with the belief. There was a different girl that I followed that was a part of a different network marketing company. And I did their workout. So it's Beachbody. Okay. And I did their, come on, let's not have I don't want to spend time guessing. It was Beachbody. So I followed her. She was like I don't know. Anyway. And so she posted a ton about different things, money that she was making, real checks. Like she would take her pay stubs and post them. I was like, dang, that is intense. Like thousands of dollars. Like, so I knew she could do it, but I didn't align with Beachbody. I like their workouts. I still actually use them, but I was like, I can't show my abs every day. I just can't. That's just not who I am. And I don't like the name. Like, I just was like, it's not who I am. And so I knew that belief was there because I'd seen her do it, but I just wanted it to be a company that I could really stand by and be that girl. So that's where the belief came in. And so people are watching. I follow some other network marketers that like will show their checks and stuff. And I'm like, oh, interesting. But it's helping anyone if I don't know. It helps it builds up network marketing if more people do that and aren't ashamed to show that they can have income. But So that's that one. As far as I am a self-starter, I am an Enneagram 3, if people know that number. Like I am an achiever, like I like to get things done. And in ministry, I worked for a nonprofit. So I did fundraise my salary and my ministry budget. So sometimes I'd fundraise anywhere between $60,000 to $100,000 a year. And so I had a ton of donors and donor meetings and kind of like sales, right? In a way, you're selling what you do. And so I had some of those skills, and I had to create my own schedule. We didn't have set hours in ministry. So sometimes I'd work nights because I'd be at basketball games cheering on these kids. And then I wouldn't work the next day. So I like knew how to do that. So I've applied a lot of what I learned in ministry to the plexus part. So there's some natural stuff, I guess. But yeah, so a lot of it is natural, but discipline has come in as team has grown. Like I've had to learn new skills for sure, because you can't just get to diamond with natural abilities.
So with you being a self-starter, we have a Golden Above call that we do once a month, and we talked about that a lot at our one in March, where, really like 25% of it at most is the sponsor and 75% is the person, like even down to 5% the sponsor pouring into that person, and 95% of the efforts go towards that person just being that self-starter. So what do you, as a leader who is a self-starter, how do you lead people who aren't a self-starter, who need that step-by-step? Because I think that that's the majority. I don't think that the Jodies are the most common when it comes to this.
And that's hard because a lot of them, my team, and they haven't said this directly, but I fear that they're like, well, I'm not Jodie, so I could never do this. And so we do have to like tone it down, but I'm on a different team call, so I can just tell you all the things I do. But I do tone down some of that a little bit. And I had my own team page when I was senior silver. Like I was like, that's just what you do. Like I just started a team page, and it's been that since. I finally changed it. It was called Catching Silver forever. I'm like, that I got to change. So now it's Team Iron. Team Iron is my name because iron sharpens iron. And that's like what my team's all about, is just encouraging and loving each other. But for the most part, we do IPA challenges. I don't hold their hands. I will never hold your hand. Like I'm just like, you are your own business owner. And I say that once they want a business, like not right away. Of course, I hold their hands to like, get them going silver, of course. But after that, we have a lot of team threads. And so we put challenges in there, or here's a good post, here's something that you can consider, just kind of throwing things out there. And then it's up to them to still do it. But I guess those kind of resources. And then I love events. So we do 2 events a month just to encourage people, to invite people to those. So we have a lot of third-party stuff. It's not like just figure it out on your own. But that's kind of, Did I answer that well? I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's great. And I think I think it's neat to see that you can be successful in this with different systems, because you have a lot of people that say, I hold people's hands all the way to silver, all the way to gold, or I think it's neat to see that you can be successful here with any type of personality and with any type of system. It really just takes that passion and that belief. And I loved what you said about how you had a seed planted in you from early on, because I believe that was the same with me and with so many of, like Kara Carrington on here. I mean, she started immediately for the business. She had a seed planted in her, and that spurred her business because that was belief and passion and contagion. Why am I struggling with that word so much tonight? I don't even know. Does anybody else have any other questions? Take advantage, guys.
Come on. I'm an open book, clearly. I'm crazy.
Okay, I have a question. I can't do video because my internet is awful right now, and I sound like a man because I'm sick, so I apologize about that. With your binder, with your why binder, because that's really intriguing to me, are you like taking out as your why morphs, or do you leave your initial why in and just use it as kind of like a time capsule of your thoughts and your why?
I like the idea of a time capsule. I will say I have some dream boards from early on. I went on a retreat or something and made one, and it's hilarious to me. But even then I had some things on there that are still my why now. But I heard a diamond recently, just 2 weeks ago, I think. I can't think of her name right now. Amber something. She shared her first why was like Gymboree and Pottery Barn. Like that was her first why. And then she got there and she's like, great, like now what? And then her why definitely had to evolve for her to keep wanting to go more. You know, I think she actually stopped for like 6 months because she had gotten to that place. And so for me, my why has definitely grown. In the beginning, I wanted to go Ruby. That was kind of my end goal. I looked at like, you know, the charts that they share with you, and I was like, that would be good. Like that would replace what I was making in ministry for sure. And now my why has just grown because I see like even plexus, just other diamonds that have just shown me what is out there and what is possible. And just making me dream even more. So our goal, we have just crazy dreams. So I actually have taken out my originals. My original was like, you know, some stuff for my kids, just like little stuff. And now it's way bigger than that. Dreams, big dreams for things in Korea, since 2 of my kids are from Korea, and travels there and some of the things that we want to do. So that has grown. And in here also is like my level ones that are working the business, people that are in our challenges right now. It's not just my why. It has like all, you know, my checklists, like spreadsheets. And my husband is an accountant. So he does my numbers for me a lot and prints things for me. Like he pulls reports, which is very nice at times, because that's not my gift at all. At all.
Who would you say you really like to train under, or who do you encourage your people to listen to with trainings?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know. Maybe you now. I gotta listen to you a little bit more. I would say, so Jessica Heffley is my original, because she was on our team, like that great grandma. So I was a part of one of her trainings. It was awesome, accountability. Sally Lewis is my direct diamond upline, and I love everything that she creates. I did momentum movement last year twice, and it really helped just propel things forward. So I like that. I've enjoyed that. Anything by John Maxwell is good. I've read several of his books. Who else? I mean, anything Plexus puts out. I'm not that great at always listening to their like Monday motivations and stuff like that, I will say, because it's like 6 o'clock on a Monday and I kind of struggle with that. But I know everything they put out is always great. So in the beginning though, it literally was YouTube. I would just say how to do this, and I would just put it in YouTube and then put Plexus at the end of it, and like things would pop. I'm like, that's good, 16 minutes, sure. And I'd load a thing of laundry. So I would just listen to anyone.
I love that so much. Okay, we have time for one more question. No pressure, but make it really good. So good. Anyone?
I've got one. Jody, you said you hold the hand of the people to a certain point. What exactly do you do up until that point when you say, okay, you're on your own?
Yes. So, I mean, people are never on their own in Team Iron. Like, so just, I mean, you guys know, but like, they're more owning, they have to own it as a business owner. But in the beginning, so when they first start and they say, yeah, they either want to get their products covered, or they think they can share, or they can come up with a couple names, that's enough of a little bit of a nudge that we will put them in our silver linings thread. So we have this thing called silver linings. It's our message thread. And that is, it's not a group because we don't want to even scare them with that. And it's just a message thread. And every other day, we will give them a post or a story slide progression. And so it's just something that they can do so they don't have to come up with it themselves. I wish I would have had that. I didn't have that. And this is not ripping on my uplines. I just figured it out on my own. And so you can stay in the group until you are silver. And after silver, you graduate and cannot be in that thread anymore unless you have a level 1 that you've recruited that wants to also go silver, get their products covered. Then you can stay in the thread to encourage your person. And a lot of times they want to stay in the thread because they're getting this information and it's nice. I even love it because me and one of my senior rubies run it, and she does such a good job with it that I even will take some of those slide progressions. I'm like, sweet, that's done for the day. And so we'll do that every other day. So we don't do it every day. We don't want to overwhelm them. And then that's where they can ask their questions. Like, I have a girl that has thyroid issues. What should I do? And then me and any of our leaders that are in that will help that person. And so they're all learning together, but they're not in our big team thread. We have a bigger team thread with everyone, because once they graduate, they have to go to that thread if they want to go past silver. And that one is busy, right? You guys probably have one. It's just like, there's always things going on. And so we don't want to freak them out. So that's what I mean by holding their hand, is that they're getting that. A slide progression, just maybe that's a weird word to say, but just a bunch of slides for stories, like Wellness Wednesday, and then a story after that. So like 6 slides we'll give them to upload into their stories. And sometimes we might give them a tip, like Easter. I was just like, celebrate Easter. Like, this is such a wonderful day. Pro tip: if you're ready today, snap a picture with your pink drink or ProBio 5 that you can use later this week, because they're probably not going to use it on Easter because they're going to post a nice picture of their family or something, but use that later for a post that we'll be doing. So they already had it. So just like little things we'll toss in there. That's what I mean by holding their hand. And then we celebrate them big, every single ambassador that they sign in that thread. The whole, I usually do this one. You guys know that gift. That's my favorite one, clearly.
Oh, I love it. Well, this was super helpful, and I really appreciate you being honest and sharing the highs and the lows. And I think every single person in here, our hearts broke hearing your low. And I think that just, though, shows that, like, we all have hard things. Mm-hmm. We all have hard things. We all have the same 24 hours in the day. We all have challenges, but if we feel called to do this, and we can do this with honor and with love and with grace and with heart and with passion, and like you said, as a believer, like if you are praying over your business and you're praying over your motives and you're praying over your relationships, and God continues to open the door and he continues to bless, I just think that's a really neat thing that we get to do. And it is very much a ministry platform. It's very much a place where we can love people. Like, there's so many people on our team that we've never even been belly to belly with, but we cry and we pray and we celebrate these people, and it's beautiful. And so I know many of us will be praying for you and your family and for healing and just wisdom in that situation, and celebrating you as you step into Sapphire very soon, holding the hands with Hannah Richardson as she goes Sapphire too.
You gotta get a friend, my sister, because I'm like, she's going Sapphire, I gotta get going.
That's exactly right. But I just think all of these tips are amazing. And just, again, it just really points down to, you've got to be a business owner. You've got to be consistent. You've got to have a why. You've got to know there are going to be hard things that come, but it's worth it to continue to work through all of that. So Jodie, thank you so much for this time. So many great tips. I will hopefully be able to get this uploaded to YouTube tonight if I don't have any issues. And Jodie, let me repay the favor anytime. So thank you very much for being our guest tonight. Tell your husband thank you for the late night.
Oh yeah, no problem. All right, see you guys.
Bye you all. Thanks for being on, guys. Bye.